Tonight, diversion. Dawson Creek's ER interrupted services today. And new proposal. Dawson Creek looking for a new water source. And false report. RCMP deems online rumors of sexual assault to be false. Good evening and thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with another emergency department diversion in the Northeast. This time it happened at the Dawson Creek and District Hospital Monday. Northern Health made the announcement on social media. The ER interrupted services between 5 a.m. and 3 p.m. In a prior post, the health authorities said services would stop at 8 a.m., but it was later changed to 5 a.m. Health officials says the interruption was due to staffing challenges. When ER services are not available, Northern Health says residents should call 911 to be transported to the nearest available facility. The BC Centre for Disease Control has confirmed 8 new cases of measles in the province, increasing the total to 265. Health officials say there's 5 new confirmed cases in Northern Health and 1 probable case. They say it brings the total to 193 confirmed cases in the Northeast. The BC CDC also says Fraser Health has 3 new measles cases, increasing the total there to 40. It says the region also currently has 4 active cases. Health officials continue to say that immunization is the best way to fight the measles. The city of Dawson Creek is proposing a new water supply system to the Environmental Assessment Office. Dawson Creek needs a water source because of the Kiskatana River's urgent drought conditions. The project would draw water from the Peace River near Taylor, and a 52 kilometers pipe would transport the water to the city. It would also take 4 to 6 wells, a river intake, and pumping stations. The pipeline will also cross traditional territories, private land, and crown land. The city has recently entered Stage 3 water conservation measures. The Environmental Assessment Office has approved the initial project to start the early engagement phase. An open house will take place on October 8 and a virtual info session on October 16. This week is Rail Safety Week, and many communities across the Peace region are supporting the movement. Rail Safety Week takes place from September 15 to the 21st. Canadian National Rail says rail safety is a shared responsibility by the public. CN pushes people to be rail smart by stopping at a safe distance from tracks and crossing, by looking both ways to ensure trains are not approaching, and by listening for trains. BC Coroner Service says railway crossing and trespassing incidents can have catastrophic and life-changing results. The province says there's been 40 deaths related to accidents on a railway in BC between 2020 and 2025. After rumors of a possible sexual assault were circulating online, the Dawson Creek RCMP says the report was false. Mounties say they received a report about 3 children drugged, sexually assaulted, and dropped off in a field in the Dawson Creek area. A Facebook post alleged that 3 girls, 8 or 9 years old, were picked up by a truck after school. The RCMP says they conducted a thorough investigation. They say the report was found untrue and the offense did not happen. Mounties say there is no danger to the public. One of the largest police rewards in Canadian history was announced today in BC.
I know residents and business owners are deeply worried, and rightfully so, by the extortions that continue to threaten our neighborhoods, our businesses, and our way of life.
The city of Surrey is putting a $250,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest of those behind a wave of extortion cases. Many of those cases targeted the South Asian community. Police say victims are threatened with arson or shootings unless they hand over large sums of money. BC's historic provincial deficit is growing to $11.6 billion and counting into the new year. That's $665 million higher than it was at budget in March. CTV's Ivan Raymond has more on how we got here and the response.
BC's provincial deficit for the year is now projected to hit $11.6 billion, $665 million more than the record debt first announced last spring.
I think it's tragic. I feel so sad for my grandkids that they're going to probably be dealing with this debt well into the future. It's totally irresponsible. and I just can't believe it happened.
I haven't had a doctor in 8 years. Are we going to go there? And the deficit keeps piling up. I wonder, where do I fit in here?
The NDP finance minister says the elimination of the carbon tax is largely to blame. Other revenues, including property transfer taxes from a cooling housing market, are down, and fire management costs are up.
While the province's diverse economy is showing some signs of weathering the economic headwinds we're facing, our financial bottom line isn't immune to the impacts of uncertainty being felt in the global economy.
She says the province is focused on bringing down the cost of government. This fiscal year, it's found $300 million in savings through travel, advertising, and a government hiring freeze, which has reduced the size of the public service by 850 people.
Every ministry is looking at the work that they do to find savings. We're doing things like looking, is there opportunity to amalgamate and centralize to find savings as well. In addition to that, we're asking all of government and our health authorities to look at their books to find out if there's administrative savings that they can find, for example, without impacting frontline services.
Critics are taking aim at transparency. The province is getting a one-time $3.7 billion tobacco settlement over 18 years. It's reporting $2.7 billion in net revenue now.
Bottom line is the deficit is really closer to that $13.5 to $14.5 billion in that range, depending how you want to look at the one-year first-time payment for the tobacco tax or tobacco settlement.
The NDP finance minister says the accrued accounting was a choice by staff, and there's no timeline of when taxpayers could see a return to black. Yvonne Raymond, CTV News, Victoria.
Albertans will soon have to add if they are a Canadian citizen to their driver's license and ID cards. The province is introducing legislation this fall that would make Albertans show if they are a Canadian citizen. The government says with this, people will no longer need to carry multiple pieces of ID. It says this will also help the province keep track of who is accessing medical care in Alberta. The province says last year there were 530,000 more healthcare numbers than people living in Alberta. It's a big day in Ottawa. It's back to work for members of Parliament, with the government's priorities being rolled out, and the much-anticipated first questions period showdown between the Prime Minister and the Conservative leader. CTV's Mike Lecouteur has more on those priorities.
Looking forward to a collaborative session. The Prime Minister was preaching collaboration, while many were anticipating today's confrontation.
Mr. Speaker, why is it that all of this Prime Minister's promises of yesterday turn into today's disappointments?
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre attacked the Prime Minister's record. Mark Carney responded with a dig about Poilievre's absence from the House as he campaigned in a by-election.
He missed the largest tax cut for 22 million Canadians. He missed the cut on the GST for new homes. He missed eliminating all federal barriers to trade.
Despite all the jabs, all are calling for cross-partisan collaboration on issues like housing, bail and immigration reform, and the ongoing affordability crisis.
We're going to oppose the government where it makes sense. We are going to support things that make sense, and we are going to expose what they're not telling us.
We are a minority government, yes, but we believe that we have a mandate to proceed with major things.
It's why Liberal House Leader Steve McKinnon said his party is willing to negotiate on details, not principles.
There will be no negotiation, but we want to collaborate. What does that mean? Obey? Become liberals? Might not happen.
It's by force of will that I ignore the fact that Mr. Carney seems to have one speed, which is fast, and one vehicle, which is a bulldozer.
Any collaboration will be tested soon, as the Liberals will need help to pass a budget this fall, and one that the government says is projected to have a substantial deficit.
As negotiations between Canada Post and unionized postal workers continues to stall, the union says it's ending its ban on overtime work. But employees have now introduced a new restriction. They will no longer be delivering commercial flyers. CTV Paul Hollingsworth has more on the staff and negotiations.
Unionized postal employees have taken to the streets, rallying and urging Canada Post to return to the bargaining table. Negotiations have lasted more than 21 months with no deal in sight. Last month, the union voted down what Canada Post said was its final offer. Workers want the government to intervene like it did during the recent Air Canada strike.
We're doing this across country, so the message is for the MPs to tell Canada Post to go back to the table and negotiate.
Employees have reversed their overtime ban, but are now refusing to deliver commercial flyers.
We'll deliver the letter mail, we'll deliver the parcels, we'll deliver everything else except the flyers.
In a statement, Canada Post said this decision impacts the thousands of Canadian businesses that reach their customers with information and offers through the mail. Some Canada Post customers have no problem with not receiving flyers.
No, not at all.
Others rely on flyers to find the cheapest deal for groceries.
I like to price match, and if I don't have my flyer, I can't price match.
According to Canada Post, the move also impacts unionized employees who are paid to deliver flyers on top of their wages. Workers hope this latest move forces Canada Post to re-examine the issues the union wants improved in their next collective agreement.
Fair wages, improved health and safety, expansion of the public service, and a right to retire with dignity.
Canada Post says they've lost more than $5 billion since 2018, and major changes are needed to keep the company sustainable long term. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
To the U.S. now, here's an update from the FBI. They have linked the men accused of shooting conservative influencer Charlie Kirk with DNA evidence found at the scene. FBI Director Kash Patel says the DNA was discovered on a towel allegedly wrapped around a firearm discharged near the university. A formal murder charge is expected later this week. The new evidence comes as Vice President J.D. Vance stepped in to host the late Charlie Kirk's talk show.
Filling in for somebody who cannot be filled in for, but I'm going to try to do my best. He was a critical part of getting Donald Trump elected as president, getting me elected as vice president. And so much of our success over the last 7 months is due to his efforts, his staffing, his support, and his friendship.
Vance spoke glowingly of his late friend and blamed left-wing extremists from playing a role in the killing. Many have compared the recent rise of artificial intelligence to the internet boom in the 90s or the invention of the smartphone. While it's considered a breakthrough technology, many Canadians want to pump the brakes on how quickly AI is advancing. CTV's Kevin Sharrock explains.
From tutoring students in elementary school to performing life-saving surgery, artificial intelligence is emerging virtually everywhere, but a new survey shows many Canadians would prefer to slow down its rapid progress.
The reality is we have a 4-point increase, now reaching 50% of Canadians who believe that AI is a threat.
That's up from a survey conducted 2 years ago, with data showing most skepticism coming from seniors.
It's the over 55 generation that is more likely to be worried about AI, essentially making things harder for humanity.
The survey also shows nearly 80% are concerned with AI's threat to jobs and its dumbing down of education, and just over 70% even worry AI can threaten human life.
People, I think, have a right to be concerned about where it's going.
Alan Mackworth has spent decades working in AI.
This is one of the world's first robot soccer players.
Creating ball-kicking robots in the 90s. He says AI's impact on jobs needs to be addressed, along with how it's being used in online scams.
We have to be concerned about maintaining human autonomy and human dignity as robotics and AI become increasingly prevalent. So there's a clear need for regulation.
But he says the rewards of AI are too great to ignore, calling for a more balanced approach.
I would say I'm cautiously optimistic, but very wary of some of the rogue uses of AI that have to be curtailed. But I think there's enormous potential for good, especially in healthcare.
Most people gravitate towards, let's handle this slowly, figure out a way in which we can make this better for humanity without jeopardizing existing jobs.
Less than 40% polled said they trust government to manage AI. Kevin Sharrock, CTV News.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back with weather.